Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile, and this is just a quickie announcement about the upcoming WNBA season. For those of you who are not aware, there are three things I need to say very briefly. First of all, the WNBA is going to be celebrating its 20th season. So congratulations to the WNBA for lasting this long, especially the organizations that have been there since the beginning, like the Liberty. 20 years is a long time for any business organization to exist, especially in our modern world. The schedule for the 2016 season has also been released. Link to that article in the description down below. And the season opens up on May 14th. So with that official release, I can announce my schedule. First of all, I will do preseason power rankings every day for the beginning of May, starting with May 1st with the number 12 team, moving all the way to May 12th with the number 1 team. For those who don't know what preseason power rankings, that's where I take both how well they did last season and all of the moves that happened during the off season, as far as just, free agency, trades, new coaches, who they ended up drafting, and I combine all that together to say what I personally think each team would finish off this year. And then on Friday, May 13th, I will upload the first video of WNBA Weekly for the 2016 season. Now, I'll finish this video by talking about the fact that the WNBA has approved some very significant rule changes. It's all very exciting. Link to the article in the description down below. The WNBA has announced that for the 2016 season, the league has changed the playoff format. So now, instead of the top 4 seeds in each conference getting into the playoffs, it'll just be the teams with the 8 best records, regardless of conference. I can't say whether this will be good or bad at the end of the day, but I think it'll definitely get more eyes pointed in our direction. Because I know with a lot of other sports that I watch, I know with the NBA, it's something that's been discussed greatly. There are times where you'll have like the 9th and 10th seed in the Western Conference. They're decent teams, but they end up missing out on the playoffs because the West is just that damn stacked. But if they were in the Eastern Conference, they'd have been like a 3rd or 4th seed with their record. And instead, you've got an Eastern Conference team with 2 or 3 good teams that are actually worth paying attention to, and 3 other teams that don't even have a winning record. So I think with this rule change, you'll get a lot of people who, even if they're not interested in the WNBA, even if they're not necessarily interested in basketball, I think a lot more people in the sports world will look to this and they'll see how it works out, because it's something that a lot of people have begged for. And so, this is a chance to see it in action, to see, does it really improve the game? Does it make it more competitive? Does it get more people interested in watching? Which I think it probably will. Because it might not happen this season, but there could potentially come a time where you end up having like all 6 Western Conference teams in the playoffs. That's all 6 Eastern Conference teams in the playoffs on one year. And in addition to changing how they are seeded, they have also changed the format of the playoffs. Now, instead of 3 rounds, it is going to be 4. The top 4 teams are going to get bye weeks. The number 1 and 2 seeds will not play into the 3rd round. The 3 and 4 seed will not play into the 2nd round. So 5 through 8 are going to play each other in the 1st round, and instead of being a 3-game series, it's going to be single elimination, and then they're going to move on to the 2nd round to play another single elimination game. And then they go on to the 3rd round, where it'll be best of 5, and then the winners of those 2 games will go on to the WNBA Finals, which will continue to be best of 5. Once again, only time can tell if this will actually be better or worse, but I think if nothing else, it'll definitely garner more interest in the sport. So yeah, WNBA fans, the next time you'll see my face will be May 1st when I start doing the preseason power rankings. So until then, this has been the Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Nile. I cannot wait for May. I really cannot.